Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Life of Brian. I am here with my 2006 Ford GT, and I thought I would do another installment of the 5 things I aggressively tolerate about my car. So let's start this one off again with my 2006 Ford GT. So the first thing I aggressively tolerate about this car, guys, is obviously the famous or infamous doors, if you will. If you notice, there is a ceiling or a roof that is over the door. So if there's, let's say, a car parked next to you, and you're sitting here in the car and you open the door, in a normal car, this is not here, you just stand up, walk out. But obviously in this car, if that's a situation, if you're next to a car, you literally have to crawl out under the door, if you will. Which again, to a lot of people might be a con or a disadvantage, but I actually really like the doors. I think they're super cool and unique. They, again, were an homage to the GT40, and that's how those doors were, and the designer was very adamant about keeping that styling on the Ford GT. And when you sit in the car, let me go and sit in here for you guys. Just kind of fall in. It's not that hard, but something you have to keep in mind is the door does kind of, again, come up over your head. So when you close the door, you got to make sure you, see if I can get this here, duck your head so it doesn't hit you. But yes, these doors are definitely something that I definitely aggressively tolerate, and I like on the Ford GT because it's unique. It doesn't have the butterfly doors or Lambo doors or scissor doors that other supercars have. So that's definitely the first thing I really aggressively tolerate. The second thing I aggressively tolerate about the Ford GT, guys, is this really awesome shifter. Let me kind of give you guys a sense here. So reverse is all the way over and then to the left. This is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then sixth. Super smooth. I think this actually has a short shifter on it, but even the OEM one is really nice as well. The only con to this is reverse and first are pretty close together, so you really have to make sure you're going into first as opposed to reverse. But it's just, it's kind of funny. You would think for a car like this that, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but I had a Dodge Viper. I had a 2004 Dodge Viper, muscle car, 500 horsepower, and the shifter was just, to me, it just really sucked. It was very heavy and cumbersome, and I think I compared it to like trying to shift a baseball bat every single time to try to get it into gear. The clutch was super heavy. The clutch on this is nice. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's not bad. But it's all about the shifter on this, guys. It's very it's smooth, but also very it's precise. It kind of gives you that nice little mix between that kind of bolt action NSX feel, but also kind of the smoothness even of the 1M. But it's a really nice, fun shifter. Definitely one of my favorite things and something I aggressively tolerate about the GT. The third thing I aggressively tolerate about my Ford GT, guys, is the steering wheel. Now, this may seem odd to you or sound odd to you guys, and you may not be able to tell just by looking at the video. I mean, I can put my hand there for reference, but the steering wheel is actually kind of small in comparison to not just other cars, but even in this car itself. It's a relatively small steering wheel, and I think it's perfect for this car. I don't know what it is about the size of this steering wheel, but it just makes the car so much easier and more fun to drive. You feel like when you're going into corners, or obviously when you're turning, making U-turns, it's just a joy to turn and to manipulate this steering wheel. It's not too big. It doesn't have like the crazy the flat bottom or semi-flat bottom stuff, which I frankly hate in newer sports cars and supercars. I just like a traditional or like the yoke or whatever. I like a traditional round steering wheel, and this is a smaller size steering wheel, guys, but just something about it, just the feel, the dimension, the size, it's perfect for this car. And as I said in my other video, when I was doing one of my Ford GT, I think if all cars had a steering wheel this size, I think they'd be a lot more fun to drive. The fourth thing that I aggressively tolerate, guys, about my Ford GT are these switches here, which are like, you know, fighter jet, you know, switches, fighter jet type switches, I guess. Not that I've ever been in a fighter jet, but it's just really fun to, you know, feel that click. You know, I think in a Doug DeMuro video or someone's video, they're like, they just kind of like pressing these buttons just for the sake of it, just to kind of feel and hear the click. I actually don't do that, but I think they look super cool. I don't know. I guess this is, I think it's an accurate, not depiction, but I believe the GT40 also had similar switches. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. But you know, if they didn't, I think this is a great touch. Again, it feels great, sounds great. It's just kind of a super cool little thing that a lot of cars don't have, these type of little switch things, but I think it adds a little bit of, you know, that extra oomph, that je ne sais quoi, if you will, to the car, and I really like it. I think it's really cool. The fifth thing, guys, that I like about my Ford GT are these seats. Strangely enough, a lot of people, especially when the car came out, they're like, what the hell are these holes? What is that about? It must be super comfortable. You know, must really kind of hurt your butt and your back when you're sitting on it. Apparently, again, this was an homage to the original GT40, which had these, and for that race car, I believe these were actually for ventilation to help the seat breathe and make it a little bit more bearable for the driver, you know, in the 24 hour of Le Mans. But this, of course, is just purely aesthetic. There's no ventilation here whatsoever. This is obviously, you know, leather, and I don't know what this is. This is plastic. These are plastic. But yeah, it doesn't ventilate, it doesn't breathe at all. But it looks cool. But I was actually worried when I got the car. I was like, man, is it going to be super uncomfortable? Do I need to get like a pad or a pillow? And it's actually very comfortable, guys. Not even like, oh, you tolerate it and it's like, oh, it's kind of annoying, but it's okay. This is actually very comfortable. These seats are actually among probably one of the most comfortable seats I have. It's actually ironically more comfortable than my 12C, my Gallardo, my Lotus. I would put these seats up there. You wouldn't think they're that comfortable because, again, they look like just, you know, race seats, bucket seats, but with these holes, it's kind of like, they're just kind of digging into your back and your butt. But yeah, these seats actually feel really nice. They feel great on your back, and I've actually not nodded off while I've been driving, but I've felt like nodding off several times because they were so comfortable. So that's definitely the fifth thing I aggressively tolerate about my Ford GT. So those are the 5 things, guys, that I aggressively tolerate about my Ford GT. I'm sure if I thought about it, I could definitely think of some more, but I think 5 is a nice round number to stop at. I really love the car, really love the look of the car. Obviously you see the engine in the back right there, but it's just, it's a joy. It's a blast to drive one of these. I don't really drive it much, don't get to drive it much, but when I do, it's really awesome. I love the way the car feels, it handles, obviously the looks of the car. One of the most beautiful cars I think ever made. And you know, these 5 things are some of the many reasons why I just really enjoy driving this car. I'm really glad I have one to drive. So let me know what you guys think. Again, have you driven one? Do you have one? Do you like them? Do you not like them? What are 5 things you like? I may have a 5 things I violently oppose about my Ford GT. I just need to think of about 4 other things. But in the meantime, I'll work on that for you guys. And I hope you guys like the video. Give the video a like and subscribe. Support the channel. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.